Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om. Opa, what is this? Okay. Uh, so we begin today, page 2036, Mark and Lynn. Lynn, it does not help Lynn, but last thing I have seen was the we have looked into the verse 31st. Who are you with this fierce form?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Our Supreme Lord, salutation be to you, be gracious, a desire to know you, and so on. So here, the interesting thing here is that according to the Vedas and Vedanta, the process towards the spiritual liberation pass by getting to understand the nature of the Lord. You know? And here Arjuna confess. So please tell me, who are you? What are you? No, I'm confused. I had a certain image about you, which is being somehow contradicted by what I'm seeing in you right now. So I did not understand what you are, who you are. This is so important, so common, because religious people never to get to really understand the nature of God. And I'm talking about the nature of Saguna God, Saguna Ishwara, you know. They just want that which is pleasant, but they reject what is unpleasant. Therefore, Arjuna just exposed this problem, you know, to all of us. I thought you were a pleasant, compassionate God, and now I see you as a terrible, revengeful, and angry God, so on. So, of course, even to come to the point of understanding the nature of Saguna God, that the one, the power, the supreme intelligence who creates, projects, or originates, or manifests this apparent order of physical dimension, we we must develop certain qualifications, né? Katustaya Sampanaha. So sadhana is necessary to refine the mind so that one becomes sensible to the concept that there is a God, not a God that you should be afraid and who is going to send you to heaven or hell and is going to punish you and judge you. No, there's nobody judging you. The system is perfect, and the God is not a personal entity, is a intelligent designed system. So, and the person has to be qualified to understand Karma Yoga, Dharma Yoga, Sagunishwara. It's a big thing to understand Sagunishwara. You understand? Most people, even in the Vedantic circles, they are not qualified to understand Sagunishwara. You know? So if there are so many challenges and adversities, immediately they say, oh, but he's saying about the creator God, so it's better I just repeat to myself, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. But that more often than not is not going to help, you know, because you need to understand Saguna, Brahman, so that later on you can say, I understand and I have the mental, emotional strength to accept everything. And besides that, I reject everything because I know that the only reality is Nirguna Atma, you know, and I am that Atma, I am that consciousness. There is only this consciousness. You know? So he says, I would like to know you very clearly, very nicely. I would like to know who you are, what you are very clearly. I want to know how you function. how you sustain this universe, how you deal with this, how you keep presenting parabolas to everybody at the same time, and people say that you are just God. There is no injustice in you, but I see so much injustice in this world. So I need to understand, this fundamental karmic law, and why you have to destroy an entire field of warriors in this epic battle between good and evil, Dharma and Adharma. Why again and again you have to destroy everything? And then again they say, oh no, that nobody's destroyed. The individual soul is gonna be born again. And ultimately, the true nature of every and all individual souls were never born and will never die. Oh, so we get caught up with, oh my God, he's destroying now the universe with cataclysms and this and that, and we lose the picture, the view, the darshan, that no soul ever dies for good unless, and by the means of self-knowledge, one voluntarily gives back this sense of individuality, this sense of a separate entity, and just, accepts one's nature as the entire ocean of Brahman. Swami says human beings are so childish. There is so much human growth. Humans need to grow in maturity. Usually, humans never think in terms of these lines. People are busy thinking in a narrow-mindedly, doing few things, never trying to understand the nature of God, the nature of reality, of creation, and this causality, this karmic principle. Now Arjuna seems to be asking a good question, a fundamental question, so help me to understand you. Therefore, Krishna is going to give answers here, and very profound and beautiful answers. We're going to see it. So this is the second phase now. So Arjuna must shut up, and Krishna is going to give him the teachings. Well, because so far he was complaining and blah, blah, I sort of this, you have disappointed me, and so on. So just to remind you, says Swamiji, when Arjuna appreciates the Vishvarupa, he goes through different reactions, response. The first one was wonderment, Asharyam or Vismayaha. The second stage, the second reaction he had when he looked into the mouths of the Lord was of terror, of fear, of repulsion, Now we have to enter into the third stage. This third stage is the stage in which, by the means of spiritual knowledge and understanding, he can have a different reaction. And this reaction is gratitude, vairagya, or howsoever we want to put, because he understood in which way every Jivatma is contributing to whatsoever prarabdha karma we experience on a personal level or in a group or collective level. So Krishna is going to answer Arjuna and is going to clarify to all of us the third possible reaction, but only for people who have assimilated this spiritual wisdom. The Lord begins saying, I am the mighty time, the destroyer of the world. I am proceeding to destroy all people here, all warriors who are riot in both sides of the arms will cease to exist even without your participation, Arjuna. Well, again, he presents the picture of the Lord as Lord Shiva, the one who destroys everything. So he represents by column, by time. And I'm proceeding to destroy everyone here, he says. So it's not that he is voluntarily saying, I'm going to destroy because, I'm tired. No, he's saying, so my order is about to put an end on this, this this manifestation in time as it is now, in which, Dharma is being destroyed. So it's better we sacrifice certain people, even if there are good people in the battlefield, but we need to sacrifice good people in order to save society. The same thing that Swamiji present analogy. If you have a illness, a sickness, a disease in your leg, and the doctor says, we have to amputate your leg. So it's like that, you have to accept the amputation. For the sake of society, we need to accept the destruction of even a lot of good people. Huh? So I'm proceeding to destroy because my structure is intelligent design, and there is nothing to be concerned. Nobody really dies. And the people who die in the battlefield to protect Dharma, they are warriors, and they get wonderful punya and better births in the future. And I'm gonna do this without you or with you. And now the question is, so what Arjuna is going to do now? He says, anyhow, so the result here is destruction, okay? A large, massive destruction of everybody in the field here. I don't know how many thousands of people, warriors, but it's going to be destruction. He asked two questions: who are you and how you function? And the questions were: I am the destroyer, I am Kalaha, Asmi, I am Kala, Tattva, my nature, I am integral part of this apparent order, relative world. And that's why in Vedanta we talk about two planes of reality. Now, one is called Vyavaharika and one is called Paramartika. So this apparent order, Mithya order, is Vyavaharika. And he says that time is integral part of this Vyavaharika manifestation. In other words, creation is integral part of this manifestation, sustenance as well, and destruction. Everything that appears must disappear. So this is the Vyavaharika. The other is called Paramartika, Satya, but it's not much relevant in this conversation, I would say. Vyavaharika Satya is a plane in which time principle is there operating everything, is intrinsic, inherent to this manifestation. As we know, Mithya is a realm in which things emerge, appear, it's sustained for some time, it begins decline, and then it is destroyed. So everything in a flux of constant change as well. So, and everything is standing against its corresponding opposite. So arrival and departure, birth and death, growth and decay, union, dissociation, birth and death, So all opposite pairs are there as integral part of this order, okay? And among them, birth and death, association and dissociation. Yeah? The individual soul is going to appear associated with the physical body. A time will come that it's going to experience the process of dissociation from that physical body. It's intrinsic, it is intrinsic, inherent aspect of Mithya. Vedantin's advice, the Vedantic advice is what? With regard to Vyavaharika Satya, we have only two options. This is very important. So Vyavaharika is something. We either accept everything as prasadam, we accept not as, oh, everything here is great joy to me. No. You accept everything as it is because it does not depend on you. It depends on this intelligent design system. And it's called karmic laws. And when it comes, you accept everything, the good and the bad, the pleasant and the unpleasant. What I like and what I don't like, I accept because I understood the system. I understood the system. Nobody can control one's parameter, one's field of experience. So things are going to be delivered, and some of them are going to be pleasant, some are going to be unpleasant. It is in the human nature that it is unpleasant to get a cancer and suffer and die in great pain, like it happened with Nisargadatta and Ramana. It's natural that, but the Yanni is going to just say, that's all right. It's all part of this karmic system. And that brings the destruction, everything which was constructed. And therefore, for some reason, the time comes that I have to accept leaving behind my physical body. Leaving behind my physical body. Huh? So this is accepting everything due to a profound understanding. Huh? So the other option is to reject it all. Reject it all. How are you going to reject it all? Hmm? Huh? How are you going to reject, Lynn?
You reject by knowing who you are instead. I mean, I think rejecting all is where we want to go.
Yeah. That's the ultimate knowledge, ultimate wisdom. I am Satya, all of this is Mithya. I don't attribute reality to any of this. Therefore, I'm free and independent of anything that happens here around me and to this instrument of knowledge, the so-called body. So either you accept everything because you understood Saguneshwara, or you reject everything because you understood Nirguneshwara, the only reality, your very own nature, unaffected by anything. So how the jiva is going to accept it all or reject it all? It has to go through a profound, process of transformation, refinement, purification in terms of understanding, profound understanding. So that he can accept everything or reject everything. See, he was given an example that somebody, an Indian guy, an important person most probably, was flying on the India Airlines, and he was a first-class passenger, but somehow he had to fly. There was no space. He went into the economic, how you say, an economic seat. And there the food was not what he was used to. And the horses came and present the food. And then he said, why you bring this to me? Is there no choice? And then what was the answer of this wise, steward? You see, of course there is. You can accept or reject it. So nice, huh? So nice. So everything must be accepted as one piece, as divine. This piece is not peace in the sense of peaceful, is in one whole, in one part. As divine, or the whole thing should be rejected in one piece. So this is called Vyavaharika Satyam, this order. The other order is Paramartika, as we know. In Paramartika, there is no time, there is no space, there are no pairs of opposites, because Paramartika is conscious existence, one without a second. There are no question of any plurality, diversity, which are all sustained by its opposite pairs. Everything in Mithya is sustained by opposite pairs, okay? So, of course, in Paramartika, there is none of that. And if you have this wisdom in respect to Paramartika, it's going to fructify only if you understand and you own and claim, I am of the nature of Paramartika Satyam. I am Satyam, the only reality. I am conscious existence in which there are no duality, plurality, diversity, and so on. There is no question of good and bad there. There is no birth and death, and so on. But as we know, Paramartika Satyam is the only reality. And but it's not something that you can experience by itself. You understand? Because in Paramartika there is no duality, experiencer and experienced. The fundamental duality is the know and the known, the experiencer and the experienced. So it's not that you go to Satya and there you're gonna have an experience of non-duality. No, there are no experience there. Okay. Therefore, what is the benefit of understanding Paramartika Satyam, the only reality, and claim I am of the nature of Paramartika Satyam? Is that before you leave your body, before you just leave this physical order, or before you leave your physical body, you're going to have the opportunity to experience this Vyavaharika from the standpoint of the understanding. I am of the nature of Paramartika Satyam. So the fruit is always here in Vyavaharika. There are no fruits to be enjoyed in Paramartika in that sense. It's in here, provide one understands I am of the nature of Paramartika Satyam, the only reality, consciousness. There are no dualities, there are no good, there is no bad, because people imagine, and I have been enjoying a lot of videos, classes, and so on, talking about these esoteric things on different languages, based on some gospels from the era of immediately after Christ, 100, 200 years, in which there is so many teachings, which is pure Upanishad teachings, pure. And all of that was destroyed and suppressed because the teaching should be you a sinner, and then Jesus came here and he suffered to pay for your sins and so on. You are small, you are inadequate. It sounds like familiar to us because we live like that up to today. But the fact is that some of these teachings were preserved, although most was destroyed. And but it's all present in terms, experiential terms, without a clear understanding of the essence of these Upanishad teachings. So it's not that you're gonna travel to Paramartika Satyam and there you're gonna experience fullness and this and that. No, I mean, what you want is not an experience entity. There is nothing to experience because there is only you, Satya, consciousness. You understand? There is no death. There is no other. There is no boyfriend, girlfriends, nothing. No good food, no bad food. Therefore, here we have two possibilities. You need to vote for Paramartika, and then we reject Vyavaharika as a mere apparent projection, or you learn to accept Vyavaharika if you are not able to reject Vyavaharika completely. But in order to accept Vyavaharika, you have to accept both sides, the creation and the destructive power. Creative power and destructive power. But Arjuna will say, no, I cannot take the destructive party. I want just to enjoy the beautiful aspect of the Lord, the Creator, the Sustainer, and so on. It doesn't work. for total rejection also, you require tremendous preparation, tremendous mental strength. You cannot go in yin yoga and without this maturity, this mental preparedness, strength, and expect that you're going to internalize this knowledge. All there is consciousness, the only reality. And everything that happens in this order of duality, as well, all other orders of duality, they are just mere appearance. They are not real. The only reality is the consciousness of the observer, the consciousness of the knower, the consciousness of the experiencer. So you need to have tremendous strength, tremendous maturity and preparation to reject everything and to accept everything on a different level. You have to have tremendous strength. Maybe to reject, to accept everything is even more difficult because the individual living in this triangle format, I myself, Jiva, live in a world which is very dangerous, seeking protection with the Creator Ishvara, and I have to accept whatsoever this world brings as prasada from Ishvara. So the individual has somehow to develop certain mental emotional strength, which is not so natural, okay? Whereas if you really develop, if you're able to reject everything due to this profound understanding, it does not need much emotional strength, mental strength. It needs intellectual, cognitive strength, because then you understand. Once you understood, and then there is no question of having to be strong, because by the means of knowledge, understand, you understood that everything is happening within myself as consciousness, as a mere superimposition of reflection. None of these affects me. In the same way, none of the objects built within space affects the space, and so on. So in any case, maturity must be there. You have to renounce everything. You have to give up everything. We happily do. Swami says, no, I already renounced all the enemies on the other side, but except my grandfather, my uncle, and the people that I love. No, Vedanta says you have to renounce the entire package. People you love, people you hate, people you don't know. Renounce everything. Disease, you renounce. Health, you renounce. Dissociation, you renounce. Association, you renounce. Death, you renounce. So birth. And so this is renunciation that comes with rejecting everything by the means of knowledge. I have a very strong and clear Viveka Shakti, so it allows me to renounce or reject, stop attributing reality to all of these. Therefore, I renounce the result, I renounce any identification or involvement with the Parabada or any desires, any preference. This is a sort of strength that comes from a strong Viveka Shakti. So Vedanta say, renounce everything and you are going to be good to go. Bottom line, total renunciation requires inner strength, which is more like intellectual, cognitive power, strength, able to understand the subtlety and depth of the Upanishad teachings. The other aspect is total acceptance. Also requires an inner strength, and this inner strength is more on the mental, emotional level. Why you have to accept things that you really have a hard time to accept, such as the death of my son, the death of my daughter. You understand? You have to accept it. So it's going once emotions are going to be challenged right there. But in any case, both requires strength. Vedanta say that strength you get only from one source and one source alone. Here Swami says by self-knowledge. I prefer to say by spiritual wisdom. Spiritual wisdom encompasses everything. The knowledge in respect to Mitya and Saguna Ishwara, and the knowledge in respect of Paramartika Satya, Nirguna Ishwara. Self-knowledge and Ishwara knowledge, as I used to say in the past, Ishwara knowledge, Brahma knowledge, and Aham Brahmasmi knowledge. This is going to give the individual this inner strength coming from one's viveka, discrimination, power, and emotional balance. Atma knowledge gives you that inner strength by which either you can accept everything or you can reject everything. I would say spiritual knowledge gives you the inner strength on those two levels. You can accept everything as a gift coming from the Lord, or you can reject everything by saying, there is no really Lord, there is no really Jiva searching for protection. There is no really Jagat here. Everything is superimposition on the only reality, which is Nirguna Atma, my very nature. So that's the way to reject it. You choose. You may be a Grihastha person, and as a Grihastha, you invite to be a good Kami Yogi, as we know. And the Kami Yogi is the one who is interacting with the field and unavoidably going into association, dissociation, association, dissociation, association, dissociation, and associations more often than not brings about mental, emotional disturbance, because you either you like and you get a little bit attached, or you don't like, but yet circumstance makes it that you still need to remain associated to these people or this circumstance. Okay, so totally the creation. Or the other option, which was not our option, I don't know if Mark is still considering this option, you become a sannyas and go to one of these ashrams in India, and there you're going to renounce everything you left in Spain. But remember, the most important renunciation is to renounce the one who believes to be doing the renunciation. So partial acceptance is not acceptable in spiritual growth. Partial acceptance is not synonymous of spiritual growth. Partial rejection is also not acceptable. This is also so nice. So many people who claims to be enlightened, and they say, no, all of this is a dream, it's a projection, it's an illusion, So I reject everything, but, they like to enjoy what they enjoy, If they have a chance, they like to enjoy a little sex, a little money grabbing, and other things. Huh? No, you have to reject everything, renounce everything. Therefore, Krishna says in the same verse, I am Kala Tattvam. I am Kala Chita Tattvam. I have got twofold functions. I create and I destroy. Here he left out the sustainer. And here, what is the context? Mahabharata, battlefield. Therefore, Krishna says, Loka Kshaya Krit. Now, prominently, I am doing the job of destruction. So, Loka Shakrit means the destructive principle. So, in times of war, Ishwara is just bringing down the population and destroy a lot of people, mostly male individual souls. Yeah. And it's part of the game. You cannot expect him to be protective because it's time to fight for some reason. In the old days, we used to think, yes, this fight is a fight to protect Dharma. It's important, to reject the evil force governing our world. But nowadays, nobody knows anymore why they would be in the field battling or fighting an opposite arm. Nobody knows, and it's such a manipulation. So Ishvara is the destructive principle here. And if the war is a fair war to protect Dharma, and then it's okay to accept the destruction. But if it's just a play of manipulation, just for the sake of geopolitical supremacy and control and power and so on, don't buy into that. That's my take. You understand? So this is my power. Destructive principle is being activated now. This is the field of Mahabharata. Destruction is going to take place in massive magnitude. Therefore, pravriddhidaha means activated, destroying principle. I'm activating my power of mass destruction. Mass destruction. So what is the war we live now? We have wars and wars on this planet. We are talking about war that serve the purpose of uphold Dharma, protect Dharma, reestablish Dharma against the Adamic nations, Adamic, But the war we live nowadays is a war between good and evil, And it's a war that somehow has ground roots into human beings' mind. So if the mind of the individual is compromised to the extent that he does not understand all the manipulation, and then game is over. Game is over. These wars are not really fundamental between this nation against that nation. That on that level there is also a struggle and war, but there is a much deeper level of this war, which is the war against human cognitive power, critical mind, of free will, and ability for us to say, no, we don't accept this, we don't accept that. I'm being manipulated and I don't want that. It's a war against humanity as a whole. That's my take. And the take of many people nowadays. Ishwara is going to do that there, and Krishna tells Arjuna, saying like, it's better you participate since you are a warrior. I'm activating this destroying principle. I'm switching, pressing the buttons here. But if you don't want to participate, destruction is going to take place as well. And Ishvara has many other means by which he can put an end to a group of people, civilization, cyclone and many other cataclysms. And so only God knows. I mean, we have an idea, meteorite, or there's so many things that could put an end to a civilization. Nuclear wars. So destructive is if this time principle activates, and Arjuna, you invite to participate, but even if you don't, the system is going to reorganize itself, rebalance itself once again. And why have I come here? Krishna says, I have come to engage myself in the reestablishment of Dharma, in the job of destroying all these Dharmic people. What I was trying to say before is As a principle, a war is a war between two factors, two energies, or two principles or vrittis we see in every human being. One is that voice that says, I want what I want when I want, and I'm ready to cause great destruction to gain what I want, you know? So it's a total disrespect, disconcern to the laws of creation that you can't really get what you want. You need to learn to negotiate and compromise and share the resource, you know? But this is the war. But this war manifests fundamentally in such a way that nobody can say, oh, no, that nation is Adamic and this nature is Dharmic. No, that other is Adamic. There is no such a thing. The entire society has moved away from the Dharmic structure of the creation. You understand? Everybody is struggling, moved by this fundamental ignorance. I want my way, or I will bring about great destruction. And the poor people become soldiers and go there and give their lives because they were brainwashed to believe that they are doing great service to their nation, you know. Therefore, he says, it's going to happen. I am here engaged to put an end to create this mass destruction in the Mahabharata. Krishna gives the warning. It's going to happen with or without your help. Decide to start the war, and whether you decide against the war, I have decided war or not war, I will destroy everyone here. Therefore, Krishna gives this warning to Arjuna. Even if you are not here participating, even without your involvement, it is already written in the stone. You know, there is no such a thing, but the sense is, you know, it's time. This intelligence structure has decided that there is no way to keep minimum structure in the Dharma field, allowing people to grow spiritually, because I see and our scriptures suggest that this is a place in which we can do actions, verbal, mentally, and physical, which are going to either elevate ourselves to spiritual, decline ourselves. So free will is there for that. That's the price we pay for being a human being with free will. So it's time to put an end on this. Why? Because there is no way you're going to find a compromise here, Arjuna. You have tried more than a decade with sending your messengers or whatever to try to find a diplomatic agreement, you know, compromise. And they refuse everything. They want you dead. They want to destroy you and your family and so on. There is nothing left. It's more or less how I feel nowadays in our world. I mean, there is no way we're going to find workability against among all these nations, you know. So therefore, it's better to put an end of all of that. These people must disappear. The time has come for the world to be vacated again of a huge mass of people who lost their ways spiritually. A lot of good people go to these battles and give their lives out of pure ignorance of what's really going on. The soldiers are going to be present in both sides of the armies. No doubt your army is standing for Dharma, Arjuna, I know. So you are good people. And the opposite army is standing for a Dharma. It's clear. On those days in this battle, it was very clear. Nowadays, it's not anymore. It is a Dharma war. But still, even on the Dharmic side, in spite of Dharma being with you, your people, the people in your arm will have to die as well. Both sides, the soldiers are going to die. They have to perish. There is no way out. So I have sent my avatars, I have sent my gurus, I have sent beautiful people to go there and to try to teach them the spiritual wisdom. They all became greedy and totally overtaken by materialism, power, and so on. They are no longer convertible back to the spiritual path. They are hopeless case. Therefore, we're going to have to sacrifice a part of humanity here because anyhow, this part now that we sacrifice is going to be sacrificed if we don't destroy the entire game. Understand? There is no way out. The prarabdha is over. Arjuna, please understand. Therefore, get up and fight. Attain fame. Conquering the enemies. Enjoy the prosperous kingdom. Indeed, they have been already killed by me many times in the past, and now it's already determined. I already killed them. The heads are still standing, but they are going to fall very soon. The system has already manifest its fruits. The fruits is total mass destruction here. Therefore, he says, be an instrument, Arjuna, the ambidextrous bowman. What is this difficult word, ambidextrous?
Means you can use either hand or equally facile.
Okay, thank you. So he was really good. Boom, boom, both sides, huh? Like a good soccer player that plays with both legs. Very rare. So whether you are going to get involved and fight, fulfill your Swardharma, and getting name and fame in the future, or not, time has come so that most of you have to perish. And if you die, Arjuna, you're going to get incredible punya, celestial punya. If you are going to be involved, the advantages are enormous. You died fighting the Dharma field, and if you survived, if you were one among those 10 people counted in my two hands, you're gonna enjoy what is the best possible in this Vyavaharika. Name, fame, prestige, and people rolling the red carpet for you, and so on. You may enjoy that. But if you die, you're going to enjoy even better the celestial lokas. People are going to welcome you there as well, and you're going to come back with an even better opportunity to grow. And Krishna says, I'm beyond the need. I'm beyond the ego. I'm not a doer. I'm not an enjoyer. Okay, I am this system, this intelligent design system. I will bring about mass destruction here, but it's better you do it. It's better you be an instrument for this destruction, because then all the name and fame will go to you. I don't care for name and fame because I'm beyond the ego. I'm not, I don't have any sense of doing anything here. People all over will say Arjuna fought and won this war against the Dharma. Arjuna has reestablished Dharma. You will get so much fame for fighting this battle. But if you run away, we saw all of that in the second chapter, no? Or the first, even the first, no, second chapter. If you run away, the result is going to be the end of these people and the end of your fame, name and fame as well. Everything is lost. I will destroy everyone in any case. If you run away, I will destroy. If you stay, I will destroy. The only difference is that if you fight this war, it's going to be wonderful for you in your spiritual journey. It's not a very big deal for Krishna, the Lord, to destroy everybody in the battlefield. He has many other means, as we know. But if you run away, you're going to feel so bad about yourself. It's going to be bad karma for you. Try to understand. You're going to be sinning, make a huge mistake by omission. One thing is commission, another thing is omission. We can produce some commission, some actions which are in violation of Dharma, and that is going to produce papa. But if you decide not to do anything, you're going to be producing papa by omission. You will have big papa. Either way, the people are going to die in any case. Therefore, it's better you join, do your duty, and fight this war. Just imagine how long, 18 chapters, Arjuna had to wait until he got the understanding of Dharma, Adharma. He swore Dharma, Satya and Mithya, not make confusion between one and the other, and therefore make a decision to fight the war to reestablish Dharma, be an instrument of the Lord. Therefore, he says, since the time has come for these people to disappear from the surface of the earth, and since I'm going to remove them in any case, get up and cooperate with me, Tvam Utista. And not only that, I'm not interested in name and fame. All is going to go to you. By winning over, by becoming victorious, by defeating the enemies, you not only will be victorious over your enemies, but you're going to be the most famous warrior of all time. You will be the king of a prosperous kingdom, which you have lost already more than a decade ago. You have been struggling in the forest. Many attempts of assassination were taken against you. So you're going to have everything back, much better than before. You suffer so much mosquitoes and insects in the forest for all these 13 or 17 years. I don't remember. You remember, Lino? Mark? 13 or 17, huh?
Yeah, it was 12 years initially, but then they had to do one more year without being discovered. Their identities being discovered.
Yeah, thank you. And then Krishna says, and I already destroyed all these people. You are seeing them because there is a time lag here. But the Parabhat is coming. Parabhat is here. The means of destruction alone may be different, but the end of destruction is going to anyway happen. This is my department, not yours. Therefore, you do not require a big Brahmastra. I mean to say a special, how do you say, weapon, huh? Weapon of mass destruction. So your very simple bow and arrow will do the job. The simple bow and arrow with which you have played your entire life since the childhood. So, and then Swami talks about Ravana and a different Purana, if I if I am interpreting it correctly. Ravana will be standing there. Rama will be there with the broomstick, and the instruction has been given that the moment Rama releases, Ravana has to fall. Blah, 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 blah. Are you familiar with this Purana, Mark?
Yeah, this comes from the Ramayana and the great battle at the end to release Sita, who was captured by Ravana. So yeah, finally, Rama has the battle with Ravana after much story.
Very nice. Thank you. The same way, Arjuna, you do not require any big weapon. You have to go through certain motions, and these people will go away. All the soldiers, they have been destroyed already. So therefore, Arjuna, so the one who can shoot the arrows with left and right hand, the best possible warrior. Like that mullah. Have you heard of Mullah Nasruddin? Is a personage that appears in the scriptures here and there, or in Puranic texts, I don't know. My first guru used to tell jokes all the time using the name Mullah Nasruddin, you know. He used to invent a lot of jokes and then attribute that to Mullah. But Mullah Nasruddin appears here and there in the text, and always with very funny stories. Mullah was telling he had invited some guests, and he had down all his trophies. He had a lot of parts of wild animals, such as the tooth, the nails, and the legs, and they keep everything showing. So I'm a great fighter, a great hunter. I have killed all these creatures in the forest. Yeah. And he invite people, and people go there and say, okay, Mullah, it's wonderful. You're the greatest possible hunter, but I don't see any heads here. Where are the heads? He says, so I'm sorry. I mean, I killed all these animals, but they were all of them, when I killed them, they already without their heads. And the meaning, if you don't understand the meaning, you find it a stupid joke, but there is always some spiritual message there. Mean to say, no hunter has ever killed a single animal. Ishwara himself has already determined that before the animal was killed. Okay? So I have to remember that context in those days, human beings were hunters for survival before agriculture took place. Like that, you have to be only like Mullah. Understand that everybody's head have already fallen off. Now all you need to do is to fulfill your Swadharma and finish the job. Become an instrument in my hands. Do not protest, do not run away from the battlefield. You can never escape. Therefore, better you become my instrument here. Okay. So now the text is pointing to something which is giving us a nice satsang, potentially good satsang, which is in which way someone who becomes a clear and fine instrument of the Lord is yet exercise free will, or there is no free will at all, in the sense that Ishwara has already decided to put an end to all of that, and then our decisions do not count anymore. We're going to see this wonderful top tomorrow during our next class, okay? Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Arlindo.
Thank you. We meet tomorrow. Bye bye.
Okay, thanks. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.